Alright, so for today, I did the 2 animations that needed to be done. So I did this little idle animation, got it here into Unreal, and then I did the death render. I know it's really dark to see. I'm not sure if I'm going to re-render it or not. It should be fine. So the render just finished up. The reason I don't know if I'm going to redo it is because the only things you really see are the teeth. And I don't know, I kind of like that. I think it's kind of scary. I wonder if I'd have to throw it into Photoshop to see if we can lighten it up or whatever. I also threw the idle animation and created the blend space for the character, or for the other monster. So right now he's chasing me, so I've got to kind of leave in that kind of sense. Make sure you can't see me. And then wait for him to wiggle his way downtown. I do really like him. I like him a lot more than my other monster. I might go back one day, or I don't know, when I have more time and like more sculpt out a lot more of his features. I was thinking about this when I was sculpting him. There's a lot of fun to be had with this character. Oh, so there he goes. So sniffing the air. He's just kind of stuck. You can't. Oh yeah, he sees me. I was like, because you can't. Because my character is there's no mesh or anything. So I'll just let him kill me. Yeah, that doesn't show well when you're in the debugging mode like that. It freaks out. But yeah. So that's all I did. It took me a while to get all that actually plugged in. Because every time I imported it for some reason, it would override the walking animation for some reason. Don't know why. It kept doing that. Eventually I got it to stop doing that by importing it in a slightly different way. And so, but then there's a thing with the blend space I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, so the graph for the blend space, that was it. No, that's in the blueprint. That's not the blend space, the blueprint. So yeah, so I completely forgot you need to actually code a little bit so it knows when it's moving and when it's not moving. I know I needed to do this, but I completely forgot I needed to do that, and I had to change these values so that way it knew. Because I was scratching my head for the longest time looking at this blueprint, or looking at this blend space and blueprint, and the one I made before, because it's, basically a carbon copy. was not too much different, and I forgot about this whole graph, which is really simple code. If you don't know what this is, it's basically it updates the animation and sends it to the monster, which is the targeted pawn, and it gets its velocity and rotation and calculates that stuff, and then sets these variables, which when you go into here, when those are set, it basically kind of flows back and rereads these and determines which animation to play based on the given values. So if there's any form of speed in any direction, it will play the walking animation. If there's no speed in these directions, which is basically 360 degrees, it will play the idle animation. Yeah, and the one thing I don't like about him is he's really hard to animate. Like, you can't see much with this. I'll open up the Maya file, why not? Just so I can show you what I'm talking about. Because when you see the full, because the idea why I wanted was to kind of like slither up your body, but that's actually really hard to do with that particular rig. I mean, you get these really great like snake motions with it, but unfortunately, trying to do something more dynamic with it isn't really a possibility. So if you're planning on rigging a snake or anything like that, I would look elsewhere than this one. And I'll show you. So this is what I've got. This is what the camera sees, and this is what it is. And that you can just see it's really weird. So the way I animate is very, very basic. It's very simplistic animation, and it's very basic understanding. I do pose by pose animation, which is what you would call it, which is fine for beginners. And I don't do too many passes, mostly because I'm not really good at animating. So basically, I start with this pose, and then I go, where do I want to end up? And this is kind of where I wanted to end up. I wanted to be more wrapped around, but he's really not that long. And it's a nice look into the camera. And basically, then I will go to like halfway. But it's just like getting these rings, because the thing is, if I move this ring at all, these rings now have a different effect. And I mean, this is great because they'll follow this curve that I create, which is fine. But it makes it difficult when animating. Honestly, like animating the individual bones might produce better results than with this. So but it doesn't look too bad. And you know, the rendered images, you know, as you see, are pretty creepy, pretty terrifying. I wouldn't want that in my face. You can't really see much else. Yeah, you can kind of see him. Just kind of see the outline a little bit if you squint hard enough. Stare at a black screen. Problem is, the C's black and it's a black screen, but the teeth are the exact opposite color, and it's that they're so prominent that you get this result, which, again, I'm kind of really falling in love with. Because you gotta think, like, I'm trying to make this character just a little bit stealthy by not giving him certain things, making him slow, but yet not giving him noises. So then, you walk up and then suddenly you stop and it's a long, long, long pause. I mean, this would be faster, so this would be from the beginning. And this is a bit slower, I'm just holding down the arrow key, so this is kind of like a bit frame by frame, but it's still it's such a long pause, and then you finally see this. So it's not like one of those terrifying jump scares, but it's one of those that like creeps you out. But so yeah, that's all I've done. I got all that stuff done. I will get this into the game, and then we will do the last few things we need to do in order to finalize him, which might not be anything. I just need to see how he reacts when I go under the desk. Because he goes through the doors, he'll chase me, he does everything I want him to. If he kills me under the desk with no additional code, then he's done. We can do the final one. So, but that's all for today.